everybody, this is Splash of Gas with Dave Weicker, a NASCAR podcast. All of NASCAR will be heading to Indianapolis this weekend. Mentioned in the first episode this week, Xfinity and Cup Series will be racing at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Trucks and ARCA will be on the other side of town Friday night at the .686 mile short track Indianapolis Raceway Park. Needed a second episode to preview it all. We'll dive more into these throughout the show, but headlines going into IRP, starting with ARCA. Will Butterbean Queen continue his dominance, looking for his 5th win of the season? Or after a hard, fiery crash in Dover, can Brent Cruz, back in the Joe Gibbs 18 car, turn things around? Trucks, last year's champ Ty Majeski has won the last 2 times the trucks went to IRP. What will he do this time? Or can another past winner, Grant Enfinger, park in the victory lane? NASCAR history time, discussions with Dave, standing breakdowns for ARCA and trucks, predictions for IRP, interview with ARCA Series driver Isabella Robusto, and so much more on this episode of Splash of Gas. As always, we're sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weicker, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek and on-track updates. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Splash of Gas with Dave Weicker. Now for trivia time. This episode's question is, who won the first Truck Series race held at IRP in 1995? Answer coming at the end. Now for our playoff breakdown, Truck Series. Including Indianapolis Raceway Park, there are 3 regular season races remaining until the playoffs start in Darlington. So far, there has been 7 different full-time truck drivers that have won a race this year. Those drivers based in the standings are Corey Heim, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, Tyler Ankrum, Daniel Hemrick, Stuart Friesen, and Raja Caruth. The Truck Series takes 10 drivers into the playoffs. That means there are 3 drivers, the way it sits, on points. Those are Caden Honeycutt, plus 67, Grant Enfinger, plus 64, Ty Majeski, plus 38. Drivers on the outside looking in, currently, Jake Garcia, minus 38. Gio Ruggiero, minus 65. Ben Rhodes, minus 68. And Tanner Gray, minus 101. No true real surprises in the winners already. 2 minor ones, I would say. First, I don't really even know is a minor surprise, but Daniel Hemrick dropping back down into the Truck Series, was in the Cup Series last year. He is a past Xfinity Series champion as well. It's been some time since he's been back in a truck, especially full-time. He wins in Martinsville. Think he's only getting more and more familiar with that McAnally-Higgleman racing team. The driver that broke out of his slump and got back in victory lane this year did it in Michigan. Stuart Friesen, prevailing through those crazy overtimes there at the end. The Canadian driver snaps a long winless streak in Michigan. Gotta say, the biggest surprise is one of the drivers that hasn't won this year. That's the guy that sits 10th in the standings, last year's champ, Ty Majeski. Ty hasn't had the best luck at times, and a mechanical gremlin here or there, bad pit stop, has put him in this current position. I do think if he can't win before the playoffs, Ty will find a way to get in. Even though he doesn't have a win this year, Caden Honeycutt in the Niche Motorsports 45 has been having a solid season. And he shows that with being the highest driver based on points without a win, plus 67. We talked to him before Pocono. He is just really focused on making the playoffs. A win would be great for him, but with the point cushion right now, he should still be good. Now we move along to the ARCA standings. ARCA Series, unlike the 3 traveling NASCAR series, do not have a playoffs. They race 20 races and go based on points. After Dover, ARCA has officially completed the first half of their season. IRP will be their 11th race of 20. Here are the standings. First place, no shock at all with his 4 wins. Brendan Butterbean Queen has racked up 511 points. Second place is Lawless Allen. He has 1 win at Talladega earlier this year. He is 26 points below Butterbean with 485. New Jersey native LeVar Scott, second in the standings last year, currently third with 6 top 5s. He is 33 points under Queen, just below Allen. Jason Kitzmiller, a name we've been hearing more and more of as this season progresses. He is in the 4th spot. A driver that we're going to talk to shortly, Isabella Robusto, a teammate of Lawless Allen in the Venturini Motorsports stable. She's had an up and down season so far this year. I think the second half of this season, she will blossom, getting into the top 3 in the standings, maybe even getting a win. I think that is a true possibility. The way Isabella and the cars at Venturini, we know that they can bring to the track. Currently, there are 8 drivers that have competed in all 10 ARCA national races. Rounding out those 8 in the standings, 6th, Alex Clubb, 7th, Michael Maples, and 8th, Brenton Laster. Now for discussions with Dave. Way too early predictions for the Truck Series Final 4 in Phoenix. First spot, the guy at top of the standings. I would be utterly shocked if Corey Heim doesn't make the Final 4 in Phoenix. He, in my opinion, is a lock. I don't see why not. Both Front Row Motorsports trucks, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, they sit 2nd and 3rd in the standings at the moment. Have a very good feeling that, of course, one of them will make it. I truthfully think Smith and Riggs will each make it into the championship 4. They've just been so good. They really press the envelope at the end. They can get aggressive with the bumper. Maybe one of them runs into bad luck in the round of 8. I don't know if that will happen. They've just been so fast throughout this year. Give me Chandler Smith and Lane Riggs to each make the Final 4. So that right now, Heim, Smith, Riggs. So who's going to be my final spot? I'm going to go with a NASCAR journeyman veteran. It's been a little bit since he's been back in the Truck Series, but Daniel Hemrick, I think he does find a way to put that 19 truck in the Final 4 and have a chance to contend for a championship in Phoenix. Next topic on discussions with Dave, how many wins can Corey Heim realistically grab this year? Throughout this Truck Series season, we've been giving Corey Heim all of his flowers. He's the development driver for 2311 Racing. It's a very good chance, and I think it's 100% that he will be in the Cup Series next year. He's just so talented. Right now, through 15 races, he has 5 wins. Crazy to think he's winning at a 30% clip at the Truck Series. Just said, believe he's a lock to get into Phoenix. But in the end, how many races is Heim going to win? In all honesty, right now, I think that magic number for him is going to sit at 8. His lessons that he's learned in Phoenix, if he can get into the Final 4, not trying to spoil my championship picks right now. Still a lot of racing to go, but Heim is by far the obvious championship favorite right now. If he gets to Phoenix, he's going to find a way to win that race. So, that's at the end of the season, but I'm giving that to him going into this. So that's 6. There's 2 more road courses on the schedule. After watching firsthand the way Corey dominated in Lime Rock, I understand there wasn't any strategy calls with no pit crews there that day. Between Watkins Glen and the Roval, think Heim grabs another trophy there. That's 7. Heim will have plenty of opportunities to blow my prediction for him out of the water. Has a lot of chances to get that 8th win, which I think he'll get. As mentioned, still plenty of racing at the Truck Series level for this season. What will Heim make of it? That wraps up this episode's edition of Discussions with Dave. Now, the drivers to look out for at IRP, starting with the ARCA Series. Can't mention ARCA this year without Butterbean Queen. Fresh off the Dover win, heading to another short track should spell success again for Brendan. After a 3rd place finish in Dover, can Venturini driver Isabella Robusto keep the momentum going into Indianapolis? Brent Cruz will be back in the Joe Gibbs 18 ARCA car. Hope he can turn it around after a fiery crash in Dover. Those Nitro Motorsports cars have been fast. Look out for the 70 driven by Sam Corey. Making another ARCA start, Laney Bice will be in the number 2. Now, drivers to look out for at IRP, Truck Series. Last year's champ, Ty Majeski, has won the last 2 times the Truck Series made their annual trip to IRP. At this point of the season, was expecting Ty to already have a win. Currently 10th in the standings, he will need to turn it up on Friday night. The only other active driver with a win at IRP is Grant Enfinger. We know what Grant can do in the playoff crunch time. He should be a contender as well. Corey Heim's best finish at IRP was 5th in 2022. Might not be his best track, but with 5 wins in 15 races this year, he's always a factor. We just mentioned his name in ARCA. Brendan Butterbean Queen is making a Truck Series start in the 07 for Spire. Can he make it up front? Ross Chastain will be back in the Truck Series, driving the 44 for Niche Motorsports. Jordan Anderson, owner of Jordan Anderson Racing in the Xfinity Series, makes a Truck Series start at IRP, his first since 2022. He will be driving the 20 for Young's Motorsports. Now for NASCAR history time, the Brickyard. 1996. After Jeff Gordon and 7-time champ Dale Earnhardt kicked off the Brickyard 400 era with back-to-back wins for Chevy, the pressure was on Ford to make their mark at Indy. And in 1996, Dale Jarrett answered that call. He didn't lead a single lap until late in the race, lap 135 of 160. But when it mattered most, Jarrett showed up. Dale and fellow Ford driver Ernie Irvan went toe-to-toe in the final laps. And with just 7 to go, Jarrett made the move and sealed the deal. That win was huge, not just because it was Ford's first win at the Brickyard, but because it made Jarrett the first driver to win both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year. And after the race, he and crew chief Todd Parrott took the whole Robert Yates racing team to the famous Yard of Bricks, got down on their knees, and kissed them. They didn't know at the time, but they were starting a tradition. Now kissing the bricks is a must. Drivers, crews, and even fans do it. Brickyard 400 2004. Hold up. How many laps was the race? The 2004 Brickyard 400 was originally scheduled for 160 laps. But thanks to NASCAR's brand new overtime policy, being used for the very first time, it actually went to 161. That green-white checkered finish only had to be used once, but it made history. Of course, what most fans remember from that day is Jeff Gordon making Brickyard history of his own. He took the win for the fourth time, tying the legendary Indy 500 record of AJ Foyt, Al Unser, Rick Mayers, and eventually Helio Castroneves. And if that wasn't enough, Gordon came back a full decade later in 2014 to grab his fifth Brickyard 400. Absolute domination for the Rainbow Warrior. Now for our interview with Xfinity driver Isabella Robusto. Next guest we bring on the Splash of Gas is driver of the 55 Mobil 1 Toyota Camry for Venturini Motorsports, Isabella Robusto. Welcome to the show, Isabella. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. You started racing at a young age, starting with karts, progressing into Bandoleros, Legends, into late models, then ARCA. How has racing so many different types of cars benefited you as a driver?
Yeah, I think it just gives you a wide range of kind of racecraft. You obviously have to drive ovals very different than road courses, same with all the different varieties of cars. And so I think it just helped grow my racecraft faster and kind of have a more kind of broad range. So when I do go to new tracks that I haven't been to before, or I get into a different type of car that I haven't been into before, I feel like I can pick it up faster than someone that didn't grow up running all different types of tracks and cars.
Cool insight. Appreciate you touching on that. Big fan of short track racing. Was at the South Carolina 400 when you podiumed in 22. Late model short track racing can get physical at times. What helped you find success among the late model ranks, propelling you into ARCA?
Yeah, late models are a very unique car. I figured out pretty quickly that you do have to keep your elbows up, especially kind of with the bigger races like the 400 or any of the Cars Tour races. It gets pretty physical just because the cars are easy to save if you kind of get knocked sideways or whatever it might be. And so, yeah, I learned from a young age of racing, you just have to be able to keep your elbows out, and if someone kind of moves you out of the way, you got to be able to be okay with moving them right back. So,
gotcha. Can get crazy out there in the late models for sure. Unfortunately, in the 2023, you suffer a concussion and have to sit out the whole year. An athlete myself growing up dealt with similar issues, missing an extended time from competition. As an athlete, how were you able to overcome that adversity and get back into the car?
It definitely was really hard, both physically and mentally, but yeah, I had a lot of help with the Toyota development crew over at the Toyota Performance Center, and we found the specialists that we needed to kind of help me get back into the car, and it took longer than we all expected, but I'm super thankful for Toyota sticking by me and just kind of helping me through the process. And when I was ready to get back into the car and back to 100%, they were ready to kind of throw me back in, and we got back to the plan that we had before my crash.
Awesome. It's been great to see you back at the track for sure. Moving to the Monster Mile of Dover this past Friday, you qualify 7th. How were you feeling on the high banks going to green? Seemed fast from the grandstands.
It was very fun. It was a very different track than I think I've ever raced. And the first lap or two of practice, it was kind of surreal of how much force your body takes kind of going down into the corner. And so once I figured out kind of what that feeling is supposed to be, I feel like we were able to start working on the car and myself, and just got faster and faster. And qualifying, I could have qualified a little bit better than I did, but slowly worked our way back through the field and the race. And yeah, by the last kind of stage, I felt like we were in a good position. We had a good balanced car, and we were in the top 3. So overall, I think it was a really good race. Some small things that we can still improve on, especially going into IRP in Iowa in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I was super happy with the outcome.
Awesome. Thank you for touching on that. What more did you need to get past Murphy and contend with Queen? And how would you say your day went?
Yeah, I think the day went really well. I feel like Murphy and I were very similar pace wise. I just pushed a little bit harder than he did in the first part of the stage, and with that, he just had better tires for the last 10 laps, and so I feel like I could have saved a little bit more instead of trying to chase after the 28 right at the start. And yeah, the 28 is just kind of in its own league right now, and so we definitely went back and looked at some things that I think we can all improve on. The team, myself, kind of as a whole, and yeah, I think we'll keep working towards it this year.
Gotcha. Appreciate the honesty. Dover was officially the end of the first half of the 2025 ARCA season, with IRP being the 11th of 20 races. How would you sum up the first half of this season, and what are your goals for the second half?
Yeah, I feel like the first half we were a little bit inconsistent, kind of finishing wise. I had a couple troubles of my own, getting kind of wrapped up in some other people's mess that we probably shouldn't have, so didn't have the finishes that we wanted to, especially in that kind of middle stretch of tracks. And yeah, going into this second half of the season, we know we have the speed and we can run up front. We just need to make sure to stay out of trouble and minimize mistakes that we can have. And so I feel like the last three races have definitely progressed in a positive direction. And so we'll just continue to do that and make little gains instead of trying to kind of make all these big changes. And yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot, especially heading into the second half of the season.
Seems like you have a great plan. After the ARCA race on Friday, you head over to Virginia International for the GR Cup. Your twin brother Will was also driving in this one. You come out with a 9th and 8th place finish in those two races. Congratulations on being the highest finishing female in both. What did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, kind of brought me back to my roots. I've only raced that car one time 3 years ago, and so just getting back into it in such a competitive series, everyone's within about a tenth of a second of each other on a road course, so it's super competitive. But yeah, just kind of got me back into what a momentum car is, and it's been a while since I've raced something like that, and so yeah, just kind of working on racecraft more on a momentum car base versus one with kind of a higher horsepower like I've raced the last couple of years. And I felt like it was pretty positive. It was also really fun to kind of go back and race with my brother. We raced pretty hard in the first race, and yeah, I think it was good to work on my racecraft some more, especially just getting in other types of cars that I haven't driven that much.
It does sound like a lot of fun. As mentioned, you were just at VIR in the GR car. The first road course of the ARCA season at Lime Rock, you finished 10th. The series will travel to upstate New York for the road course at Watkins Glen on August 8th. How would you say the road course package that Venturini is bringing to these tracks is, and are you looking forward to another road course?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to another road course. I think we had a pretty good car at Lime Rock, just has a couple of mechanical issues during the last half of the race, so we lost a good amount of track position, but I felt confident in the handling of the car, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Watkins Glen. I've never been there, but looks like a really fun track, and I'm excited to get there in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Last question. Obviously, you have your hands full with your racing schedule. You're also a full-time student studying aerospace engineering online at Arizona State University. How are you able to balance racing and school life as a young adult? That's very impressive.
Lots of time management. Growing up, especially racing full-time through elementary, middle, and high school helped with the time management side. Just knowing when to kind of flip on and off the different switches from focusing 100% on racing or 100% on school, or even if it might be just having some time off, making sure that I fully focus on whatever the task is at hand. And so yeah, I've learned a lot of time management, and my evenings are mostly filled with schoolwork now.
Gotcha. Seems like you have a full plate, but in the right direction. So really appreciate your time. Best of luck at IRP this weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. What great insight we had from Isabella. Appreciate her time. Now for Fast Davy's bets for the Truck Series. Brendan Butterbean Queen for a top 3 is plus 500. Give me that one all day. Bean Nation, rise up. Now for the predictions for IRP. ARCA genuinely believe that Queen will get his 5th win of the season. Truck Series, think Ty Majeski has gotten all of his bad luck and mechanical gremlins out of his system. Give me last year's champ getting his first win of the year this Friday night at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Now for trivia answer time. This episode's question is, who won the first Truck Series race held at IRP in 1995? Answer is Mike Skinner won the first race there, but also won the second race there in 1996. As always, we're sponsored by Magical Travel, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He'll be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek and on-track updates. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert. Hope everyone enjoys the action from IRP and Indianapolis this weekend. Till next time, everybody. Splash of Gas out.